YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers The Return, Issue 3, the penultimate issue. I keep forgetting that this is such a short series. Like, honestly, I've really been enjoying it so much, I wish it was longer. Like, every time I go to read it, for whatever reason in my head, I think it's 6 issues, and then I remember it's only 4, as this issue really sets things up for basically the finale. And I don't want to say it feels rushed, but I'm like, man, it kind of sucks we're almost near the end, because there's a lot about this version of the universe that I would love to explore, honestly. And while I did enjoy this issue, I didn't like it as much as the other two. I think it was kind of mainly a setup issue, for lack of better phrasing. It kind of was more about setting the stage for reveals and certain stuff that we kind of already inferred after sitting with the previous issues. As you have Kim being captured by Selina from the previous week, or the previous issue, excuse me, with all the other Rangers being kidnapped except for Trini and Tommy, obviously, by Selina, who reveals herself, of course, to be Rita's daughter. Not Trini's second cousin, first friend, half removed or whatever. I am curious if that's a person or not. Like, did she just make that up? Or is there really a Trini's cousin or whatever the hell it is? I'm curious about that. But we kind of all, guessed that. That was pretty obvious. Basically, monologues your whole plan. You sly dog! You caught me monologuing! Man, I just want to watch The Incredibles now. Hold on, I'll be right back. I gotta go watch The Incredibles. Man, The Incredibles was really good. Like, seriously, why aren't they doing more with that? Like, we have like 5 Toy Stories now. I mean, I don't even mind if they milk. I want another Incredibles movie. I wouldn't even mind a Disney Plus show. Anyway, sorry, this isn't about The Incredibles. Basically monologues to them, like, her whole evil plan and everything. And she reveals that Rita's alive, or at least she thinks she is, that she basically transferred her essence or herself into the grid somehow. I'll be curious to see if that's exactly what happened, or maybe it's Tommy somehow? I don't think so. I feel like because they're kind of paying tribute to 2 actors that are actually dead in real life in this, that they wouldn't bring their characters back. But I think there's going to be something more to it than just Rita's there. I mean, maybe it will be. Maybe Rita will just come out and they'll both evil laugh together. But I feel like there's going to be something more to it. My theory, outside of maybe Tommy being alive, or maybe it'll be like a brief spirit of Tommy, like a Force Ghost thing, where he like smiles upon his daughter and wife and then disappears. So that would be one theory, but my other theory is that maybe Rita is kind of purified and turns good like in the main universe and reveals to her what actually happened, because the other thing she reveals to them outside of like Rita's alive is like, oh yeah, I survived because when my mom transferred herself to the grid, she also used the last of her magic to transport me out of there. But as she's telling that story, we get the flashback of what really happened, is that Tommy used his communicator to save the life of Selina, which we all kind of expected. Again, a lot of this was stuff that after you read the first couple issues and kind of got to think about it, you kind of guessed, and so it's just kind of confirming all those reveals. And then we also learned that Tommy gave his morpher to Kim before he left. Like, we flash back to where we previously saw them say goodbye, but we see like the extended scene of him being like, I'm gonna give you the morpher and you know what to do when the time is right. I want you to pass this on to our daughter and put her in harm's way. But it sets the stage for Olivia, basically. And that's where you end the issue off, is Olivia showing up. She's like, gentlemen, let me introduce you to my friend, Optimus Prime. Olivia Oliver, and she shows up as Female Green, and then it says, like, next issue, family reunion, and it's the finale. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of it. The only other thing I had to mention was there is a scene that showcases when Selina was saved and teleported to Earth and found, it was Bulk and Skull that found her, and they're cops, just like what happened in like season 3 and stuff, which I really appreciated because that was my favorite version of them. As fun as it was to see them adapt over the course of the series and like become the PIs or whatever, and the alien hunter, perhaps to the untrained eye, I liked them as like cops. I thought that was a fun little development. I wish they would have stuck with that. Regardless, that also makes me think it's funny that they hold on to certain aspects like that. Like, that's a clear reference or whatever to season 3 mythology, but they ignore so many of the other mythology beats from past season 1 in a really weird way. Speaking of, part of the other reveals that happen is that Finster is also alive. And they talk about using the 5 morphers or the power coins to facilitate this machine that will bring Rita back. And they can't do it, though, because somebody else is accessing the grid, and it ties back to that thing from the first issue where they talk about how they basically make it seem like there's not only MMPR in the franchise, but only 6 Rangers ever. So the idea that they would have all the coins means that they would have access to the grid, no one else would be using it. That bothers me on a level of things fans care about that are quite honestly pathetic, and usually annoy me with other fans. I'm like, why do you care about that? It doesn't matter, it's just so pathetic. But that does bother me just because even when you had just the MMPR team, I never thought they were the only Power Rangers ever in the history of the universe. But I'm just gonna headcanon it as the only Power Rangers on Earth using the grid. But that was like the reasoning for the fact that their machine wouldn't work, is they have all 5, and he's like, oh, I don't understand, we have all the morphers, and then Kim's like, no, there's 6 of us, not 5. Yeah, that's the only thing that kind of bothers me, and I do find it, just like I said, interesting, certain things from the later seasons past the original cast that they keep, and certain things they don't. Overall, though, I still really am enjoying the series. Like I said, this is probably my least favorite issue because it was basically a lot of like exposition of stuff we kind of already inferred and just kind of setting up for the finale. But like I said at the beginning of the issue as well, or beginning of the review, excuse me, I really wish the series was a little bit longer. I really like this version of the universe, and there's lots of things I would like to explore. I mean, I'm sure it'll end on a pretty decently satisfying note, but I feel there's a lot of potential in this version of reality. Anyways, guys, what did you think of the issue? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.